Hi, what if I told you that there was a technique using which you can easily rise above the rest of the Excel community who use it as a data processing tool and increase your skill and demand? Would you be interested in learning it? That is exactly what we are going to do in today's lecture. In this lecture, we are going to learn about development of databases and data models. In everyday life, however, we are typically more interested in how multiple data sets relate to each other, come together to provide insights, and tell a story. By the end of this lecture, you will have a good knowledge and hands-on experience of developing a data model. As you start to work with data, you need to understand three basic concepts. First, what is a data? What is a data set? How can you combine these data sets, specifically where there are two sets of data that share common attributes? And what is a database? So let's begin with the first question. What is data? Data, simply defined, is distinct information that is formatted in a special way. It can be a figure, it can be a fact, it can be a thing, or it can be an observed fact. Data is delineated into multiple types. The first type of data that you will encounter is a qualitative data. For example, the statement, I drink coffee every day, does not tell you anything measurable. It's just a statement that tells about a fact. However, you cannot measure how much coffee is being drunk. You cannot count it. So, it tells about a quality and hence it is called as a qualitative data. The other broader definition of data is quantitative data. Quantitative data is further divided into discrete and continuous data. Discrete data is something which you can count, and continuous data is something which you can measure. For example, the statement, I drink 5 cups of coffee every day, is something which can be counted. The number of coffee cups mentioned in the statement are easily countable on your fingers. Hence, it's a discrete data set. A continuous data, on the other hand, would be something like I drink 60.6 grams of coffee every day. Now you cannot count 60.6 grams of coffee, but you can definitely measure it using a weighing scale or something. Now that you know about the types of data, let's move on to understanding what exactly is a data set and why is it useful. A data set is a file that has been collected or is being collected live. For example, an Excel file that contains list of students in a school could be considered as a data set. Such a file would have ID of the student, name, last name, contact, address, and age. Number of attributes captured can be many more. Here, since it's an example, I have kept the number of attributes to a very limited number. Now, the details of each student here would be considered as a record. So, the first person, Tony Stark, his contact, his address, his age, forms a complete record. Datasets are useful as they form the basic component of data-driven decision-making process. So in the current example, a school managing this kind of a dataset for a number of years can use the dataset to draw inferences like variation in number of students year on year, number of students who stay in the school for the full course, and number of students with age less than 15, etc. In reality, we will rarely find a single data set which contains all the attributes required to take a decision. For example, if you want to find out how many books have been issued from a library by students with age between 12 to 16, we would definitely need to check across different data sets. One capturing the student data and the other containing information of transactions related to books in the library. In such a scenario, there's a need to combine these data sets to arrive at required answer. This can be done only if there are common elements between these two data sets. In Excel, this can be done by using VLOOKUP function. The process of combining these two different data sets based on the relationship between them is called as data modeling. A data model describes the specification, definition, and rules for data in a business area. It describes the inherent logical structure of data within a domain. In simple terms, it means that if I'm creating a data model for student data, I define the attributes or the fields which go into creating a student data, and I create various conditions for them. So, for example, a name can only be written in alphabets, age can only be a number, it cannot be an alphabet. Book ID can be a combination of number and name, number and alphabets, etc. Such relationships give more sense to the data model and prevent wrong data from going into the system. And finally, let us understand what is a database. A database is basically a collection of data sets that are linked together through various relationships. We will find databases and data models throughout the business world. Databases comprise core data infrastructure that support the modern business. Today, we find everything being tracked and stored. This can range from financial data to how many times a particular book has been issued by a particular student. All this information needs to be stored and linked to other datasets using relationships. In the previously mentioned example, you might find out which book is being issued the most by students. You can find out which books are not in demand. You can find out what sections of library are being used more than the others. You can find out which students are more active in terms of their use of their library facilities than others. There are few concepts that need to be looked into before we move ahead. A table in a relational data model has rows and columns, where rows represent the records and columns represent the attributes. A single row of table, which constitute a single record for that relation, is called as a tuple. A finite set of tuples in the relational database represents relation instance. Relation instance do not have duplicate tuples. So suppose the school has a record of 1000 students, and out of that, based on any criteria, you find out 30 records for number of students studying in a single class. That set of records is called as relation instance. A schema describes the relation between various tables, and each row has one or more attributes known as relation key, which can identify the row in that particular table uniquely. For example, the roll number of a student in a school is going to be unique. Similarly, the ID of a book in a library is going to be unique. Such attributes form the relation key in a relational database. Number of values which an attribute can take is known as attribute domain. As I told earlier, a student ID can only be a number. Attribute domain for the student ID attribute is only integer numbers. Similarly, a student name can be only comprised of alphabets. It cannot have numbers. Hence, the attribute domain of a student name is alphanumeric characters. In the next lecture, we will see how we can use these concepts of data, data tables, data model, and relational databases to create powerful business scenarios and stories in Power Pivot. Thank you.